It would be fine to look. You know?
Oh, that came from that.
But you do get points.
Oh, I think, yeah. Yeah, McIntyre's not even waiting on that one, is he? We've done it.
I'd like to call, everyone could take their seats, please. I'd like to call the Ravenna City Council meeting for June 2nd to order. The first item is a moment of meditation and silence. If you could join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Greger, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Kelfie?
Here.
Ms. West?
Here.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Wood? Here. Mr. Maravich?
Here.
Ms. Michael?
Here.
Mr. Harper?
Here.
Okay, we didn't get any advance notice of any delegations. Is there anybody here in the audience tonight that would like to speak to council? Yes, please come up to the microphone, give us your name and address.
Heather Sepulak, 120 East Highland Avenue, on behalf of American Legion. First of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for doing the declaration for us on that day. I had a few citizens ask me about the condition of the American flag on the flagpole. Is that taken care of by township?
The flagpole is owned by the township.
Okay.
And there was a group that got together to raise money to restore it not too long ago. So I don't know who actually bought the flag but I think the township
township.
needs to, if you have if you have a concern about the flag, that's probably,
They maintain it.
yeah.
Okay, we were wondering. Okay. And then, actually, that was it. That way I can get back to whoever and go on. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak to council tonight? Okay, not seeing anybody, we'll move on. The next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any modifications, changes to the agenda? I will note that we did get a communication about our liquor license, and we can address that under new business tonight. Are there any other changes for the agenda? Can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The agenda is approved. The next item is the consent agenda. We have several items in there, including the communication from the Division of Liquor Control, minutes from various meetings, reports from the officials, and some various ordinances council has decided to put in the consent agenda. Is there anything in the consent agenda that anyone would like to move into the regular agenda? Not hearing any, then I would ask for a motion. Is there a motion to dispense with the requirements of the city charter and the revised code of Ohio with reference to reading on 3 different days and adopting emergency clauses and approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Kelfie?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Thank you. Okay, tonight we have an invited city official. Mr. Dennis West is here to talk to us about economic development. The floor is yours, sir.
Well, good
Good evening. Usually I come here asking for your approval for stuff. Now I'm going to give you a presentation of the Economic Development Department and what we've been up to and what we're currently working on. So I set up, Chelsea. I created a quick presentation, but I also want to kind of show you a couple of additional things. One is a broad marketing plan that we've been working on, and the other one is the economic development website where we're placing economic demographic information out onto. So on our overview, basically, this is my 6th year as the consultant for Ravenna, so yay me. Sweet. And I attended a conference earlier this year, and I was probably like one of the almost the oldest person that was there for economic development. So a lot of people come up to me and they say, you know, how do you do it? What's your secret being in all this? But one of the most challenging things is they want to know what's the most challenging thing in economic development. And they're kind of surprised when I tell them, because one of the things that they're looking for is, well, it's basically business attraction. That's what they want to know. Actually, it's the power of communication. Because in economic development, you're basically becoming a salesperson. You have to know what it is you're selling. So what are we selling? And when I was contracted to come here, one of the things that I had to ask myself is, what is Ravenna? What do they have? What do they have to offer? What are we supposed to do here? And I kind of thought, well, Ravenna is, and I kind of took that off and turned that into my marketing campaign. And basically it's, you know, Ravenna's here. Ravenna's what's happening today. It's going to be happening tomorrow. It's going to be happening in the future. I'm going to try and keep this under an hour and a half.
And this is why we're seated. You're good.
So Ravenna is an identifier. It's basically 2 words that show the state of existence. Ravenna is. Ravenna says, here I am, and it's encompassing. It's part of being part of something. It's being part of what's happening today, it's being part of what's happening tomorrow, and part of what's going to happen in the future. It's not in the past. Is current. It's now. It's happening right now. It's clean, it's crisp, it's to the point, it's not cluttered marketing, it's where you want to be. Ravenna is where you want to be, and this is the message that we have to get out to all the different areas, to the region and national. You want to be here in Ravenna. We're booming. We've had a lot of business attraction. We've had more business attraction now from 2020 to 2023 than Ravenna's seen since mid-70s when GE came. There's a lot of business expansions, and one of the things that's helping us grow with the business expansions are we're taking advantage of the state's small business grants and offering them to a lot of the businesses in the area. And what that's doing is that's saying, hey, we're gonna provide you with small incentives, money, on condition that you're going to hire additional people. And so far, we've helped out 6 local businesses with these small business grants. One of the things that we're also doing, we created a joint economic development district with Rootstown Township, and we're also working with Ravenna Township on creating their town, JED, and we're looking out at Cotton Corners to try and create that jet out there. Wages and income tax have all gone up. They've grown almost $18 million just from 2023 to 2024. And what that is that's the total payroll of all businesses located within the city of Ravenna. All businesses, all organizations, anybody that pays income tax and payroll, that's all businesses. That's how much that's grown. And I've got that from like a reliable source. Like that? We have a couple of companies in the local area that are in research. One was a startup company, Ace Laboratories. They came here before 2020, and they specialize in polymer and plastics research. And what they're working on now is there's a chemical in the tire compound that as you drive, that chemical is released out onto the streets, out onto the pavement, and it gets absorbed into the ground. They're working on how do you prevent that from happening. So that's pretty cool. They've expanded over in the Chestnut Commerce Business Park. They were full up on the top floor. They are now expanding down into the basement. That's how much they've grown. Standard Hydrogen was a business attraction. We brought them here from Florida. They came here and they were working on how to take waste and turn it into pure white hydrogen. They have now created a filtration system that eliminates all sulfur, every bit of sulfur from the water. They can then take that water and put it back through the process and create white hydrogen out of that. They got certification this year, and we're going to start working with them on the marketing aspect, and marketing and manufacturing of those filtrations. We've had a lot of celebrations. LG Chem, we celebrated their grand opening ceremony last year. The Veterans Administration is going to be building a 16,000 square foot CBOC center. So representatives attended the groundbreaking ceremony for that. We also did a media press release for the EPA cleanup of Chestnut Street. And that's pretty exciting because I don't know how many of you thought that that was just going to be a junk pile for the rest of our lives, but we got that cleaned up. We also have some anticipations that are happening. Eventually, Menards is going to come. So I just got notice last week that they will inform me as of first quarter 26 when they plan on coming. So we're anticipating that. The brownfield has to do with the EPA cleanup. We are now working with a brownfield restoration group on cleaning up the site. They're going to be doing a phase 1, and we're working with the Portage County Land Bank to try and go after state funding for brownfield money in case we have to do a phase 2 and possible cleanup of the site after that. Once that's completed, we're going to create an RFP and send it out to industrial developers to see what kind of development based around industrial usage that we can get on that property. Additionally, we have additional pipeline activity, and that pipeline kind of looks like the wins that we've had since 2023, Menards, LG Chem, South Korea International Company. Boston Group is an international company out of the Netherlands. They're located in the former GE building at 150 Loomis Street. Standard Hydrogen, the Veterans Association or Administration, CBOC. And recently, we sat in on a meeting with a company called Daniels Health. And what they do is they go around and they collect all the contaminants from the healthcare industries, all the hospitals, doctors' offices, things like that. They package them, put them on semis, send them up to Michigan for treatment. The location that they're gonna have here is 785 Freedom Street. They're gonna take up about 32 to 35,000 square feet of that facility. And they're gonna store the contaminants. They'll package them, put them on a semi, and then ship them right up to Michigan. What they plan on doing down the road is turning Ravenna into a treatment facility. So what's gonna be happening up in Michigan is they're planning on making that down here in Ravenna as well. So there could be some possible growth just from this company in about 3 years. Currently active, we're working on Menards to try and get them to decide on when they are coming so that we can redo their enterprise zone agreement. The South Chestnut Street site, we're working with the Brownfields Restoration Group to figure out what we can do with that and get it cleaned up and then send the RFP out. Dunkin', most of you know it as Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' is kind of being kicked out of Circle K. They're looking for a new place. We had them going up at State Route 14 and 44, but the Ohio Department of Transportation came back and said, yeah, we're not gonna allow you to have a turn lane on 14. So that kind of wiped out that corner right there for them. So I'm now working with them to try and find another location. And I've got a couple sites that we presented for their review. Another project I was just brought in on last Thursday. It's a confidential project, but one thing about this, if we can land this project, it'll be 500 new jobs, 500 good paying jobs.
Within how many years?
They are looking at starting construction fourth quarter of this year. And this is something that Ohio will lose if they can't find a site here. They want to be in Portage County. They're currently in Northeast Ohio, and it's a good-sized company. I can't go into a lot of detail because we're not permitted to release anything. So one of the things that we're doing now is you know, the issue is no one knows about Ravenna. No marketing campaigns, no communications were ever sent out to try and market Ravenna. There was no outreach to try and bring businesses into the area because there was nobody doing that. And there was no place for anybody to turn to obtain current, updated demographic and consumer information. So we're kind of working on that. I'm creating a marketing campaign right now that's trying to take care of all that. One of the things that we're doing is we're going to do an outreach marketing campaign to market downtown, to try and bring retail and commercial business to downtown so that the people, the residents, and the people who work here in Ravenna have a place to go eat and a place to go shop and do things after work and during lunchtime. I brought in an intern last year, and we worked on an economic dashboard that is now out on the Ravenna website, and you'll be able to go out to the Ravenna website under economic development, and there will be economic dashboard. And I'm going to show you all that here. So basically, there's a lot going on here. What I want to do is I'm going to show you briefly some of the marketing stuff that we've created through Full Spectrum. I'm changing some of these slides around, and I'm creating some additional ones. I want to create additional slides based upon downtown and the walkability of downtown and the demographics of downtown. So that as we do an outreach, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring in, once this is all created, we're going to bring in the building owners from downtown, and we're going to try and help them identify spaces within their buildings that need to have some renovation done to it. And we have a small fund through the prior CIC committee that we're going to offer up some money and help these building owners renovate their spaces so that we can bring businesses into downtown. And then once we get that done, then we're going to bring in real estate agents who represent tenants and try and bring in those different types of tenants. I've got one right now that emailed me. They were looking at Riddle Block 9 in the beginning. They've now come back and asked if we can take them back over and look at Riddle Block 9 again. So they've got some interest again back in downtown Ravenna. But basically, it's just one of the things that we want to try and make sure that we're putting out there is that Ravenna is transitioning to future advanced technology, because that's where the wages are, and that's where we're going to grow this community, is bringing in businesses that are in that high technology background. One of the things that we want to make sure that we're promoting is that we're in close proximity to supply chain access, to research, technology hubs, plethora of arts and entertainment, and education. These are all the different, guess I need my glasses. So Full Spectrum got a hold of each one of these companies and talked to them specifically, asked for permission to utilize them in our marketing package, and kind of got some quotes from them. One of the things that we're highlighting is the fact that when you come to downtown Ravenna, you're capitalizing on an active heritage tourism culture that will continue to evolve into an eclectic treasure trove. And the U.S. Chamber sent a quote that in cities in large and small, consumers have revealed the preference of living, shopping, visiting, and locating their business in historic neighborhoods. That built history in your community is not nostalgia, it's an economic asset. And that's how we have to look at this. A lot of businesses like that old, eclectic type historical building, especially when they design the interior. People like to sit down, they like to eat at those brick walls, partially plastered, and it just brings attention to the people and makes them have that really nice sit-down meal that they feel comfortable with. We just want to let them know there's all kinds of architecture here, the various types of architecture. We have the Main Street Mile that people can go down and walk 1 mile downtown. Our movies and cultures, the door is downtown. People have things that they can come downtown and see. It's just, here's what's easy about this, doing business. Our engineering department is really great at working with businesses on trying to expedite or make things expedient in the permitting process. We have the infrastructure there. We basically have no silos and no walls that are going to try and prevent this. And as the council, you guys have done a fantastic job in improving these businesses coming here. So that's it for that. And I just want to give you a real quick overview of our economic dashboard that's out on the website. This kind of gives a summary, and what we're doing is we created the Is it not showing up?
Close out the slideshow.
There it goes. So when we created our dashboard, we created it with the two purpose, one for the local community and one for the outreach community. And what we want to do is we felt that we could create a market area further out than just Ravenna, that outlying areas, outlying townships would be able to come to easily and access what we're going to have here. So basically, we created an outreach area combining that we feel we can pull from Manaway Village, Hiram, Garrettsville, Shalersville, Freedom, Charlestown, Paris, Palmyra, Edinburgh, and parts of Rootstown townships. That's what we think our market penetration area could impact. On this, we created updated demographic information, and all the yellow underlined areas are all clickable links to full reports that you can go out and click on. I'm not going to do that right now because it messes up my screen when I do. But this is basically our potential Ravenna retail market area that we feel we can bring people in from once we get everything done here. We just want to talk about strategic location, education. There's 88 higher education institutions in Ohio. 25 of those are in Northeast Ohio. If you click on this yellow link over here, it will take you out to Team Neil's website, giving you a full overview of all the higher education institutions in Northeast Ohio. Entertainment, we want everybody to know what's in the area. If you want to come here, here's what you have. When you bring your business here, here's what you can go to and do and take your family to. And then economics, this is basically about the economic industry clusters and how Ravenna has grown in the area. Again, if you want full reports, you can just click on these two here. One is the local community, and then the other one's for the market outreach. Real estate, it talks about what we have, what we've brought here. 150 Loomis Street, LG Chem, the new park, Central Park that's downtown. You can go to. Riddle Block has been redeveloped, and of course Ray Harner purchased 6800 North Chestnut Street, redeveloped that. And then we get into consumer expending. So these are just a report of what people in Ravenna are spending their money on. And you can do the full report here under community and retail market. I won't go into those, but I'll show you a brief report of what it's going to look like. And then the last thing that I want to hit on is under these consumer expenditures, we also have the ability to track where the gaps are in consumer expenditure and consumer buying power. And you'll be able to see that under the retail stores, the different types of retail stores where people are spending their money outside of Ravenna. And one of the things that I want to take particular note of, under full service restaurants and limited service restaurants, these numbers have actually decreased. Under electronics and appliances, that number has actually increased because less people are going out to eat and they're now cooking more at home. So one of the things that they're doing, stoves, microwaves, refrigerators, grills, stuff like that, the expenditure for those appliances have all gone up within the past year as the full service restaurant and limited service restaurants are going down. So this gives us an idea of where we need to focus our attention on trying to bring these types of retail into the area so that the people are not spending their money outside of Ravenna, they're spending it here. And that's it for me. One of the things I wanted to do was kind of give you an idea of what a report looked like. So this is a consumer buying power report, and this is a full report that shows you all the where the people are spending their money and where the gaps are. As you can see, you have the ability to print this off, and you also have the ability to download this. So if you go out to our website, under Economic Development, go under Economic Dashboard, you'll have the ability to see this presentation out there, and you'll also have the ability to click on those links and be able to download this for your own personal information. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
Thank you, Dennis.
Council members have questions for Mr. West?
Dennis, the property at the corner, northeast corner of 44 and 14, a large property there, had a sale pending site or under contract on it for a while. Is that something beyond Dunkin' Donuts on that corner? No, okay.
On the market.
So what happened was, when the VA came to town, they wanted different sites to look at. So we provided them with all types of different sites. That corner right there, northeast corner, the southwest corner, where they're currently going right now, Enterprise Parkway, we showed them Commerce, Chestnut Commerce site, things like that. And the developer that was going to do northeast corner, which is where Duncan was looking, was going to do the CBOC for the VA. However, the VA didn't choose them, they chose another developer. That developer that chose the northeast corner, well, also represents Duncan. So they decided that they were going to try and do a Duncan site there. And because of ODOT, that didn't work out. So we're working on a different other couple sites. There's an extra 2 acres of land over where this VA CBOC is going to be. So that's one of the sites that I'm looking at trying to take them to. It'll be off the main road. They'll be able to come out over onto from Loomis Parkway and get on the State Route 44, and then you'll have the traffic light right there. So to me, I think that's an ideal site for them. Would love to see them go there.
Another question. At one time, there was discussion that GetGo was going to put in a car wash next to their gas station there in the old Haas car lot there. Is that still in progress? Is it stalled? Is it canceled?
So GetGo got sold. GetGo was bought by Circle K. So I'm not quite sure what's happening. We still think that the car wash is going to go. We just don't know what all the mechanics are right there. We do know that Duncan's getting kicked out of Circle K though. But as far as what we know right now.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you. Oh, we have a question from an audience member. Could you come up to the microphone so people from home can hear you?
My regards to site, we already have the Circle K that's shut down on the other end of town.
Right.
Why would that not be a feasible site? Because it already has refrigeration and Dunkin' Donuts. Are they specifically wanting that side of town?
That's
So
township.
they are building a full site. It's going to be a full restaurant service.
So kind of like Blue and Enderstown. Yeah. Okay.
But they're going to have outdoor seating.
Wow.
They're going to have indoor seating.
Duncan is?
Takeout. So they're looking at 2 acres.
And plus, that's township too, that other
Oh, yeah.
Circle K. That, are you talking one on?
No, the one out.
Oh, okay, I was
no,
thinking,
no.
because there's a vacant Circle K on, I'm sorry, I
No,
misheard you.
This is the one on West Main Street.
West Main.
Yeah, it's still, both are
The
still
one on
township.
Black Horse is
I think the same
vacant,
company
yeah.
owns the one that's just down the road.
So 2 years ago, I was working with a real estate agent that was looking at putting Circle K up on 59 over in, across the street from Walmart. It's over by Birdie Shack. The people that own that was the mobile home unit that sits back there, and they didn't sell.
Good.
Circle K decided to come down here to Ravenna. The building department started working with them on a couple different locations. And then they went over to, they were going over to the RV center, correct? Yeah, then they were gonna go over to the RV center. That didn't work out. But it didn't work out because the vice president of Circle K came back and said, yeah, we're not doing anything right there anymore. So the vice president has kind of nixed the Circle K project for right now, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, Mr. West, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate all the data. The compilation of this data and this dashboard is a wonderful idea. And it's just a great thing that we can go to one place and see all types of information. I really like the holistic approach that you've taken. It's not just one aspect of economic development, it's all aspects of it, and that's a great way to look at it.
So my future plan is to create an interactive
Right.
portion of the website where instead of having this information as hard copy, you'll be able to go out, pull down drop-down boxes and choose what information you want to look at, and then it'll automatically populate for that area instead of just having this
Yeah.
sit out there.
That would be wonderful.
It's expensive, but we'll
And
talk about it.
I will leave you with, as I say to all the officials that come before council, and as you know, when you come up with some good inventive way to entice a company to come here and to keep them here, I think council has been pretty responsive.
Absolutely.
And so anytime an opportunity that council needs to weigh in on, if there's changes to our ordinances that need to take place, please let us know.
I will.
Thank
you
you.
for your assistance.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the agenda. The next item is report of committees. Now, we had that discussion at our last special meeting about committee meetings, and I hope all of you appreciate that if you plan on having a committee meeting, it will be scheduled for a week from tonight, Monday, June 6th, or June 9th. Is that okay with everyone? Okay, I'm just asking. All right, then, we will begin committee reports with utilities. Mr. Moskin.
Yes, at this point, there will be one item on the agenda.
Okay. Information Systems, Mr. Maravich?
I don't think we have anything sitting before the committee, so not planning on a meeting.
Okay. Planning, Ms. West?
To be determined.
The committee of the whole will be on Monday, June 23rd at 6 PM. I do plan, and I'll talk a little bit about it later, another special meeting at 5:30 if any of you can attend that. Public Health and Safety, Ms. Michael.
Yeah, I do have a couple items tonight, and also, or one item, to be determined, but I can assure you we probably will be.
Thank you. Mr. Harper, Streets and Sidewalks.
I haven't heard of anything at this time, so to be determined.
Personnel, Dr. Calfee.
No committee meeting.
Community and Economic Development, Ms. Wood.
I have not heard of anything yet, but to be determined.
Sounds like it could be a short evening. So from the cemetery, Mr. Moskin, Ms. West, do you have a report for us?
We did not meet.
Okay. And then finally, Parks and Rec, Mr. Maravich, do you have a report for us?
Yeah, a couple updates. Repairs were made to the walkway bridge at the Chestnut Hills Park due to a fallen tree across the railings. Parks and Rec participated in Ravenna High School's Day of Service. High schools were very helpful in helping beautify the city for City Park. We're collaborating with the Master Gardeners is a new thing for this summer, hands-on educational experience for all ages. Gardeners will be offering free gardening classes to the community as well as working with our kids at summer camp. Judy attended and completed training for the three-wheel therapy. It's an adaptive biking cycling program we're hoping to bring to the city. Let's see, we're also looking for grants into purchasing the adaptive trikes and accessories for that as well. On Thursday, June 4th, Chestnut Hills Park will be recognized by the Chamber as one of the 2024 new renovation projects in the city of Ravenna.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, there's also the meeting tomorrow night for any of the members of the public that are interested in attending.
Okay, thank you.
And that'll be at 5 at the rec department.
At the rack?
Yeah, at the rack, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, now we move on to first readings of ordinance. The first ordinance is ordinance number 2025-55.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to sign a purchase agreement for the purchase of a new ladder engine for the fire department and declaring an emergency.
This is from our Public Health and Safety Committee. Ms. Michael?
Yes, we have talked about this. I don't know if anybody had any other questions in regards to what was presented to them. I feel like we've had ample time to, if you've had any doubts or questions, to follow up with either Chief Chappell or Tammy or even the mayor. I don't know if there's any additional information that you would like to provide or feel needed to provide at this time, if anyone has any questions. So at this point, I just feel that you would probably know whether you want to pass it or not. So I would just suggest at this point, we vote on our thoughts, what is best for the city.
And just to frame the ordinance, it's for a ladder engine, about $1.8 million. But we don't have to pay for it until about 2 years from now when it's finally built and inspected, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we're authorizing tonight is just to start
Right.
the process of building the thing, and then we'll worry about how do we pay for it later.
Well, the nice
but we
thing
do have
is-
plans, don't get me
well,
wrong.
The money
do
that
have
we
plans.
originally talked about putting up front, now we know that that was
Yes.
not a good choice. So
Yeah, we don't have to
that
put any
money
money
actually
down.
can be invested and make money off of that to help offset costs. So that was a really good savings.
Are there any comments or concerns?
Before we vote, I just wanted to make a comment, and thank you, Mrs. Michael, for laying out the history of this, and I appreciate the opportunity to make some comments about it. In previous meetings, I've talked about the number of vehicles that we have purchased over the last 4 years and the amount of money that we've put in those vehicles and the large expansion in personnel costs in the fire department over the last 4 years. Some of my concern are the amounts and the speed at which we're putting money there. So I have some concerns about that. I also have concerns that we have a number of other pressing city needs, and a $2 million expenditure at this time, in addition to what we've spent, could be some concerns about it. And so my concerns are the timing of it and the method under which we're purchasing it. But I do appreciate the wide-ranging discussion we've had on it in the past, and everyone's opinions have been able to be expressed. Thank you.
Okay, other comments? Questions?
I only have a comment saying that I'm in full support of doing this. You can't put a price or justify not doing what's best for the safety of our residents and the many buildings, residents, homes that are in the city.
And the
you wanna
only
say
comment I'd like to say is the one thing that since I've been on council now, which is 16 years from the time I started, we were very, very far off where we needed to be in a lot of different departments. And through the years, we have really come up to par financially with the help of the residents, with the safety grant. And and also the streets and sidewalk grant, the paving and ways that we've been able to offset other expenses to help other departments. And I know that it seems like it's been a lot because at times I felt like, wow, this is all happening so quick. But in the big scheme of things, after I went over and kind of got a better idea of everything, times are changing and this city is growing. The call volume is growing. We just had a fire this weekend.
This Friday.
Yeah, and it's probably normal for other cities, and I think it's kind of a shock to us because this hasn't been the norm of things, but we're growing, and to me, we're being progressive, and I'm proud that we have come to this point in our city compared to what we were like back when I started. So that's my only comment.
Just for clarification, you mentioned the word grant, but these were income tax increases.
Oh, did I say
Yeah, you
grant?
did, but that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
But I just want to clarify
mean-
because,
I'm thinking grant in the back of
Yeah,
my
it's-
mind.
no,
I
I get it.
apologize. Yeah, I know well what it meant.
no, I know you do. And I just wanted to point that out because it's the commitment of our residents.
Yes.
That have really made things better for us financially. And I can't emphasize that more, that our community is really willing to step in and help us take money out of their pockets to help the community at large. Did you have a comment, Mr. Moskowitz?
Yes, I did. And if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 vehicles in the fire department that are 20-plus years old. Okay, great, thank you. And the other thing I was going to say, when any vehicle gets to certain ages, things cost a lot more to fix, replace certain things. I believe this will be quite an asset overall. And then we know this is going to last for many years to come.
Okay. Any other further comments or questions?
Sure. I think that by picking up this Quint and locking in our price for that now, it's a vehicle that serves a lot of functions, not just only a ladder or only an engine. So for what its value proposition is for the community and our ability to help other communities that assist us for mutual aid, I think it's a significant value. And since we're locking in that price now, I mean, inflation has been creeping up. We've all felt it when we go to the grocery store. So even for the city, I think this is prudent that we try to get the best set cost we can. And I do like that this gives us the flexibility to shop the best, possible financing options too. But I appreciate, Tim, you bringing your diligence there too. Because yes, we need to do this, but I also feel that it's always good to have the other side to make sure we're honing in our decisions as best we can. So, but in favor of.
All right, not hearing any more comments. I'll ask if there's a motion to waive the 3 separate readings.
So move.
Second,
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
No.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
No.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Kelfi?
No.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance is adopted. The next ordinance is ordinance number 2025-60.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Archer Energy LLC for the City of Ravenna Natural Gas Aggregation Program for the period of July 2025 through March 2027 and declaring an emergency.
This is sponsored by the Utilities Committee. Mr. Moskin?
Yes, the last price that I had seen from Archer was, I believe it's $362, which is lower than what the previous company was charging. So that's an asset by itself.
Well, just so clear, that's just the variable
Yes.
price right now.
Yeah, I realize that, and I know it won't be a fixed rate until fall.
Right, well, tonight we just have the one contract to vote on. I think we had discussed other options, but there don't seem to be any other good ones available for the time being. And I believe residents, if not council members as well, have received a letter from Eastern Power and Energy saying that starting in this month, we no longer have a contract with them. So, and I think what's been explained, because I'm by far no expert in this, is that during the summer months, the number one, the usage is fairly low, so residents don't have to pay a high energy bill, and as a result, the rates seem to be lower. I guess the only question I have is, this contract locks us in with Archer Energy, with the variable rate, which is 5 cents more than the standard offer. I always forget what that term is. And then in October, we, and I put it in quotes, negotiate a fixed fee. But how do we negotiate a fixed fee when we already have a contract with the company? Are they just going to tell us what the rate is for that they're going to offer?
That's my understanding, is that negotiation process is going to go through Bellish and Archer Energy. And then, at this point, if we don't go with whatever's negotiated, we stay with the variable rate, which is the SCO rate.
Yeah, and we really don't have an aggregation plan.
Exactly. I mean, right now, we're going with Enbridge right now, and
Yeah.
it's a variable rate as it is.
One point that was brought up before we met tonight was maybe we need to, and I'm in favor of this, and hope council passes it, but maybe we need to do some communication with our residents about the importance of this aggregation program, and if people aren't in it, how they can join. Because the way it's set up is you're in it if you've already been in it, and you have to opt out. But if you've already opted out, then getting back in can be a little complicated. And I'm not saying we do anything right away. I think we have time, but I think it would be helpful to educate our residents, in case they don't even know about the aggregation program, how they can opt in, because I think we do better when we have a higher rate of participation.
And you talked about putting that on the water bill possibly?
Yeah.
And also on the website to, just to try, so people can see stuff.
Yeah, assuming this gets passed tonight, that would be something we can consider doing for the future.
If it does get passed tonight, what is the variable rate that will be in effect when it passes?
It will be
The amount of money?
It'll be, when you go to Enbridge's website, they put every month it changes. There's a variable rate, and it'll be 5 cents higher than that standard.
Do we
It's SCO, I forget the
know what it is right now?
It was, I think it
June
was
will be
6,
3.65 NCF.
3.65, okay.
which was lower than the fixed rate we had, ironically.
That's what I was looking for, what the amount was.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
every month it'll change.
It'll change, right. I understood that, but I just didn't know where our starting point was.
Okay,
Okay?
that makes sense. Other questions or comments, concerns about this ordinance? Hearing none, do we have a motion to waive the 3 separate readings?
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And do we have a motion to adopt the emergency clause?
So moved?
Second,
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
And a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Ms. Wood?
Yes.
Ms. West?
Yes.
Mr. Moskin?
Yes.
Ms. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Maravich?
Yes.
Mr. Harper?
Yes.
That ordinance stands approved. That's the last ordinance on first reading. We have no ordinances on second reading, no ordinances on third reading. Do we have any old business to come before council tonight? Hearing none. For new business, I would like to have council weigh in on the liquor license that's been requested, because as you know, and we've learned a lot about liquor licenses over the last couple of years. Council can decide whether or not there should be a hearing here or in Columbus, or we can indicate there's no desire for a hearing. So This liquor license is for Friends Brews and Burgers, and it's the location of the former Tavern 1888 on Main Street.
Is it their liquor license that's being transferred to them?
It's my understanding this is a new liquor license.
A new
So I don't
one?
know if they gave it up and now it's.
A new one coming in from outside of Ravenna?
No, it's not a
No, they
Trex.
can apply for a new one.
Okay. They can apply for it.
Has the police department been able to do a background check to make sure that
Can ask
there's
them.
no felonies or any problems of who actually the owner is of the liquor license?
This is the first I've heard about liquor license.
That would be my recommendation before I would be comfortable on voting on anything is, because the police department would be able to see, I know they have turned other people down for the fact that they have had felonies. So I feel it would only be fair for our police department to find out who is actually going to be the owner of their liquor license and to see if they have any felonies or DUIs.
I think we may have a problem with, do you have the license? What is the time period we have to respond? June. Yeah.
Well,
so
that's
we-
not long. I mean, they should be able to get that done.
Yeah, but we have to, if we want a hearing, we have to take action.
Well, but if they call they could probably call the commissioner's office tomorrow and find out who, because that is where it's going to be, and that's who holds the lease of that location. So I would think that you would be able to find out possibly maybe tomorrow to,
But when would council have a time to vote on
would
this?
we be able to vote for it by next week?
We'd have to hold a special meeting.
Well, that's okay. I mean, if we have to hold a special meeting, if it saves, I don't want to rush something either, but I want to make sure we do it right. If we've actually prevented others from getting that with those same reasonings. I don't know, Chief, what is your thoughts on this?
I wouldn't issue a liquor license to anybody you don't know who it is.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, I mean, the interesting thing is, I mean, we've had liquor licenses come through pretty steadily before we really started investigating them.
Well, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't start investigating.
Yes,
Okay.
that should be important.
I guess my point is, though, I have confidence that the Department of Liquor Control does all that stuff, too.
No.
I can't imagine that they don't.
We just had one that didn't, I will tell you, no.
Who's we?
I'm, the city.
What do you, who?
I'm not going to get into it here, but I
It's not
think
come before council.
the police got to it beforehand. So I'm just saying
That doesn't
that
mean it would have ever come here.
it could have, yes, it could have.
All right, well,
I'm not
whatever.
going to debate it because it's true.
All right, but what I'd like to do is just ask for a vote tonight, and if the vote is not to, is to, it's not a, well, I guess the vote needs to be, do we want to have a hearing on this? And do we want to have the hearing here in our county, or do we want to have the hearing in Columbus? That's what's on the table tonight.
Yeah, those are the three boxes on the form, so.
And if you'd like to make a motion to postpone any vote, we could vote on that.
All right, I'll make a motion to postpone any vote until we have better information behind who is the owner of this liquor permit.
Second.
All in favor of Ms. Michael's motion, say aye.
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 Anybody say no? Okay. We'll have to schedule a special meeting for Monday to vote on this. Can we do that? Okay, thank you. That concludes, well, do we have any other new business? Let me just ask. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something, Ms.
Me?
Michael.
Oh, you never know,
You
but
really
I was
did.
thinking about whether I'll make it under comments or new business. You never know.
Well, if it's business, like something we eventually might actually take action on.
Well, I guess I could call it a little bit of new business. So I've been talking with the chief, and we are kind of looking at ways to, as I said, bring revenue back to the fire department. And some of the things that well, one of the things that really bothers me is how our ambulance is used as a transport and for nursing homes. And we're trying to figure out how legally we can either charge differently nursing homes for transport. It's not a 911 call, it's a transport. I know there are talks where other communities are charging or asking these communities to provide their own ambulance service. So this is kind of a new territory that it could be touchy either way. We just want to make sure that legally we are covered in our community on how to do this. I did talk with some of the, I've talked to other medics from other areas, and another new nursing home is being built in another area, and they are very, very concerned because of the amount of call volume that is going to affect this particular fire department. And, I discussed the amount of what we have in our area and the calls. And also, I'm not only finding out it's not just nursing homes, but also some of the care for people that might have falls at home, where they have group homes, and they are unable to get the people up. Should that liability fall on the employer of where, who's housing the individuals to live in the group home? So again, I just want to make sure that we are paid appropriately, and if there's ways to generate revenue to even make us ahead, not losing money, or have somebody else do the transport. Or if they get a call and find out it's not a 911 call and it's literally just because somebody's blood level could be a little off, and, it's a weekend and the doctor wants them just to go to the hospital because, the doctor doesn't want to come and check on the patient. So there's a lot of variables, but again, it's kind of one of those touchy things that we're going to have to get the law director on. He's out right now, and have more discussion. So that's something just to let you know that this is going to be coming. So that's some new business.
Thank you, Ms. Michael. Any other new business? Okay, we'll proceed on to President of Council remarks. Just briefly, I want to bring up a couple of things. First, one of our own is being recognized, Raven Awards. We have Ms. Cheryl Wood is our Citizen of the Year, I believe, from the council, or the chamber. The ceremony is Wednesday night, I believe, at the high school.
Wednesday at 6.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I also wanted to remark that I was planning on holding another special meeting at 5:30, another work session for council. I do want to talk briefly and continue the discussion about the committee and the legislative process. And I hope you've had some time to digest what we've talked about. But I was thinking that maybe we could talk about setting up a special committee or some small group to actually investigate how we might improve that process. Whether or not it requires any code changes, that's another discussion. I was approached by somebody on council who suggested we should reopen the discussion about public comment. So that could be another point of discussion at that special meeting. And if there's other things council members want to have this informal discussion about, please let me know. And I hope these half-hour meetings are doing some good. I find them very intriguing and I think enlightening to a certain extent. And I think we're learning a little bit more about how we do our business. And I think we're also learning about ideas. And I know that was the initial point, and I know some of you have a list of ideas. And I promise you we will get back to that process of brainstorming new ideas as well. But the intersection of some of these processes have kind of creeped in, so I want to make sure we talk about those as well. Okay, that concludes my remarks. We will start with Mr. Maravich.
Oh, I don't have any today.
Okay, then we will proceed on to Ms. Michael.
All right, I promise I'll make it quick. I just wanted to jump off of what Dennis had brought up about, downtown and share a little experience on my little outing I had last week with my boys. And we ended up in this little town called Burlington, New Jersey. And it reminded me a lot of our downtown Ravenna. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I'll get to it. The sidewalks, were all brick, which was a little different, but the actual downtown itself looked just like our downtown. And, my son's like, wow, this really reminds me of Ravenna, and it really did. So, we enjoyed, walking around, and some of the stores were open. And so I went into one, and I was talking to the one lady, and, I told her where I was from, and I told her I was on city council, and she's like, I'm gonna have to, I'm thinking about running. And I go, really, why? She's like, because I'm really tired of our storefronts being empty. And I said, really? She's like, yeah, I don't understand what's going on around here, but our storefronts are dying. And I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do. And which is really surprising because the area itself, it's beautiful. And we would, for us going there, we would be like, why is this empty? And the only thing was open was a couple bars, her shop, a restaurant, and then around the corner was this really nice little pub restaurant, but they had the water at the end of the road. So there was water there as well, a nice little park, and an ice cream shop that was open. But all these other little stores, like a sewing shop and all these little places were closed. And I was telling her about Ardora, and she had never heard anything about Ardora. I told her some of the things that we have in our downtown and, what struggles we've gone through. And it made me think wow, this city is going through, in New Jersey, which is, they were right by New York City, they're right by big areas. And this place is absolutely beautiful with water at the end of this road, and they're going through this. And it really made me think a lot about my downtown and, how frustrating some of us get. And we're not alone. And I feel privileged because I know we have so many groups that are trying. And this place that perceives to be very wealthy and would have everything, they're struggling with really no voices to be heard. So it really, it gave me a lot of hope knowing that we weren't alone and that we really actually aren't alone because we do have a lot of people around here who care. And when I look around at our beautiful streetscape and how the flowers are, and I showed her a picture of, on my phone, I was showing her and she's like, oh my gosh, the architect, it's beautiful. The flowers are beautiful. But she's looking at a picture for the first time as I was looking at her place for a first time. And it was just really neat because I guess you don't appreciate what you have. And then from an eyes of somebody else, it's completely new. So getting back to that same frame of mind when I got back here, it kind of made me feel a little bit different when I start to get frustrated because really makes you realize how far we've really come and all the people that do care. So, and that has made a difference. So I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Michael. Very nice. Mr. Harper.
Nothing additional.
Ms. Wood.
Nothing additional tonight.
Ms. West.
Just quickly, on Saturday, I had the opportunity to participate in the community resource fair that was held by PMHA. Phenomenal turnout. There was so many different vendors and providers, different resources for the community, lots of kiddos and families that came through, so it was a really nice event. PMHA did a fantastic job organizing that and putting it on, so I'm hopeful they do it again next year.
Thank you.
Sometimes we do a project and we put some money into something and it kind of slips off the radar and we don't think about it anymore or return to it. But this past week I was noticing the municipal parking lot that's just north of 59 that's bordered by Meridian and Cedar and Locust, that one. Used to be gravel mostly, really torn up. We paved it, parking blocks in all of it, planted grass, bought some mature trees that put around the edges of it that have come in, and it looks really pretty good. So it's a project that we decided to do. I noticed it because people from the movie theater were filling up that lot. And so that's a lot that they were parking in. And so it looked really good. And so we need to celebrate when we do something that works out and is good. And I want to also say that the flowers look great. The selection of the colors are my wife's favorite colors, and it puts her in a good mood every time we drive down through downtown. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Calfee. Mr. Moskin.
No comments this evening.
Okay, then, Mayor Seaman, your remarks for tonight?
Just a few. A lot of them have been covered by the folks that talked ahead of it. The Pocket Park also is going to receive recognition at the Raven Awards.
Oh.
And there's a thank you to all of council because we were all worked on that through the course of a year with that. I had a citizen stop me. I came in to get bags, and she says, I just want to tell you what a great job I think your streets and sidewalk people are doing. They're friendly, they're helpful, and I just can't say enough good things about them with that. And I thought I should pass that on here. Let's see, we talked about the veterans, the VA building that's going up. We did go to the shovel opening of it, and believe me, it was cold and wet with that. Let's see here. I have to tell you that when COVID hit, the number of weddings I did dropped off to nothing. And I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, when December hit last year, there's somebody standing here about every other day with that. I have 3 weddings this week. I did one this morning. But I wanted to let you know, over the course of time, now I've done over 200.
Wow.
With that. But they're actually fun to do. Yeah. To see couples coming in, and I enjoy doing that. Let's see. Our HR gal Heather has been very busy with hiring people to get the camp going, which is already started, but I'm still signing a lot of temporary help things so that they can work. And she's been kept plenty busy enough. This week also, we had the testing for the chief's position, the part of it. The chief will probably tell you, you never know when it's going to be over with this, but we had people in that specialize in that, and they are interviewed and rated on that. We have not seen the ratings yet. I think we may get them tomorrow with that. But once again, we had 4 very good candidates looking to move up, so to speak. I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Seaman. Okay, well, I guess that's the end of the meeting for tonight. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So, second.